I call the honourable member for Swan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Immigration and Border Protection. Will the Minister update the House on recent activities of our federal agencies to protect Australians from threats on our borders?
I call the honourable Minister for Immigration and Border Protection.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the member for Swan for his question. And he'll be pleased to know, as I'm sure all members on this side of the House will be pleased to know, that one of the things we're obviously doing is we're continuing to stop the boats, Madam Speaker, and we're doing that with all the effectiveness we've done over the course of the time we've been in government. It has now been more than 80 days since that single solitary venture to have turned up this year on our watch. And we know, Madam Speaker, that as on this side of the House we will continue to have to do that task, not with the support of those opposite, but we will do it continued on our side of the House, Madam Speaker, and in the Parliament only with the support of crossbenchers in the Senate, because today, Madam Speaker, we finally got the answer to the question from those opposite whether they support turnbacks and whether they support TPVs after the election. And having been told by the Australian people that they wanted turnbacks and that they want TPVs, they have come into this place today and said we're going to oppose them. We're going to vote against turnbacks and we're going to vote against temporary protection visas. Now, I suspect when they consulted people about this matter, Madam Speaker, I bet you they didn't talk to the constituents of Lindsay. I bet you they didn't talk to the constituents of Swan or Petrie or Barton or Dobell up in the Central Coast, or Robertson or Solomon or any of these places, because if they did, they would have found out that the Australian people support the policies of this government to stop the boats. This opposition, this leader of the opposition, does not have the ticker for turnbacks, never has, never will, and only this side of the House can be relied upon to do what is necessary on our borders. And they know that also, Madam Speaker, because it's not just on border protection, on stopping the boats. It is this government that has had the ticket to fund our border protection agencies, reversing more than $700 million in cuts to our border agencies in the last budget. And you know what that's produced? Including an additional $88 million to increase our screening. In the first quarter of this financial year, there has been a 30% increase in the screening of air cargo consignments. We have screened 1,700 more sea containers than was done by the previous government on their watch. And there's been 500,000 of additional international post items that have been checked by this government's policies that those opposite refused to fund when they were in government. But in addition to that, Madam Speaker, we are getting the results through our Customs and Border Protection Service, working with our federal agencies, and I commend them on it. 90 kilograms of methamphetamine on the 9th of October seized in Western Australia. Just recently on the Torres Strait, last Sunday, the member for Leichhardt will know, 9.8 kilograms, or litres I should say, of PTP precursors that would have produced drugs on our streets. Commendation goes to those who are involved in doing those works, but they are backed by a government who believes in border protection and is prepared to fund it and has the ticket to do what's necessary.